Miss Wendy Powell and Emma Givens, Family Justice Center of Sinaloa. Good morning.
Good morning. First, we want to thank you all for allowing us to come and speak today. I'm Wendy Powell, the current Executive Director of the Family Justice Center, and along with me, Miss Emma Givens. We would like to thank y'all for your past support over the past 2 years and the support of Mr. Mike Johnson. We're here to request a continuation today of an appropriation that you guys have been so generously to put us in your budget. I was listening earlier to the ladies that were talking about getting the VOCA funding decrease. And it's not a secret, funding has decreased across the board, and we have, in turn, relied heavily on the appropriation that we received from the state to continue with serving our victims and our operational expenses. In the last year, between July 1 and the present, our staff has served 657 clients, providing a total of 14,399 services. It's been an increase since the previous year of only serving 536 clients and 10,942 services. We have been able to expand our services throughout Region 6. We opened one office in Avoyelles, and we are working closely with the Concordia Parish Sheriff's Department to serve clients in that area. The funding is being used to help the Family Justice Center grow towards that one-stop shop model that we have across the United States. We provide services with community partner agencies in one safe location. So the funding is allowing us to expand our services, keep our operational expenses going, and for some reason, if we were to lose the funding, we would have to look at other options as far as closing the office down in Avoyelles and possibly even moving our location somewhere else. We have current in-house partners, a detective from the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office. We work with all of our law enforcement across our region, and we've recently partnered with Faith House of Acadiana. They are providing a shelter in the Avoyelles location, if y'all are, I'm sure y'all are familiar with. And we have some of their advocates in our office, and we collaboratively work together to provide services to the victims and their children.
Okay. Thank you, Wendy. So from what I'm hearing, y'all are working with other agencies to pull together your objective here in these Region 6, right?
Correct. We're trying to get, our model is to have, if there's a victim and their children of a domestic situation come in, we would like all of the resources to be provided to them so they're not going in several different directions to get services. So we offer civil legal services, we offer counseling, group and individual, we offer some financial assistance. That's part of us working with the other agencies, because what we lack in resources, they can kind of come in and pick up and go forward. Free of charge to the clients, we provide an attorney to go with them to file restraining orders. Well, we have legal advocates that help file the restraining orders, but the attorneys accompany them in court. And that can help them with their divorce, custody. Our advocates will help with relocation services if that's necessary. Is there anything that I'm forgetting? Because I get so nervous whenever I come up here. It's quite easy to slip my mind. So.
Okay. Ms. Given?
Yes. I'm Emma Givens. I'm the Assistant Director with the Family Justice Center. The Family Justice Center is a vital organization. We play a crucial role in fighting crime in our communities. We help survivors escape abusive situations and access the assistance they need to heal and rebuild their lives. By helping survivors navigate the legal system, get protective orders, and seek justice against their abusers, we contribute to holding perpetrators accountable for their actions. By promoting education and prevention efforts, we work to reduce the incidence of domestic violence in communities. Like Wendy said, we serve 8 parishes in Louisiana, and we do have a profound impact. We are fighting crime, we are empowering survivors, and we are making communities healthier. Without the Family Justice Center services, there would be devastating consequences for survivors and their families. It is essential that we prioritize the safety and well-being of those impacted by domestic violence by providing the necessary resources to support them. And if you don't mind, I'd like to share 1 or 2 testimonies from some of our survivors. These are a few quotes from survivors who attend our Monday night support group counseling sessions. So survivor number 1. It has been a year of personal blessings. I have established many parameters in my life with the help provided by Family Justice Center. Courtney and Rashawn and the group of girls who share with me have helped me understand my way. Today I have established goals thanks to them. I have witnessed the help they provide for others, and undoubtedly groups and places like this are necessary in our society. I personally appreciate and wish the Family Justice Center can reach more women who need it. I have no more than thanks for the whole team and many blessings for them always. And a second survivor says, abused, manipulated, naked, lonely, I was a weakling mess and yet needed to be strong. I was ashamed yet needed to be bold for my kids. I knocked on the door and found open arms and comfort. Family Justice Center is a place where abused women from all walks of life can come to find solace. You are not alone in the fight. Every Monday we meet to share and receive guidance during group sessions. I have learned that abuse comes in different forms, and I didn't deserve to be treated badly. The revelation empowered me, and I'm able to forgive myself. Thank you, Family Justice Center.
Okay, thank y'all for that. Senator Cloud.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, ladies, for being here. The chair and I, we've sat on, and Senator Boudreaux and Senator Harris, we've sat here and listened to your testimony and your good, praiseworthy work for a few years now. I've actually sent victims to your facility for your services, and I think I most of all want to commend your collective collaborative effort to be a one-stop shop, because what I've seen since I've been here is that we appropriate dollars for all sorts of different things, to NGOs, to state agencies, departments, and their subsidiaries, and we don't really ever know if all the different organizations are communicating to actually meet the needs of one individual. And I think you see that, and that's your vision, is an individual walks in and then you be the arms and the feet and reach out and to help them capture all the resources that we appropriate, because there is a disconnect.
Yeah.
So thank you both.
Thank y'all for coming in. Appreciate it.
We appreciate y'all's time. I have paper with some statistics, like from where we've grown over the past 2 years, that I just kind of wanted to bring for your information.
You're
So I can
welcome to
give it
pass, get started on to pass those out, and we'll have them.
Thank you.
Thank
Y'all
you.
so much.
Okay, next we have Caroline.
Dinner at lunch is here too, just so you know.
Okay, Caroline Cascio, the Wellspring. Crystal Scrantz, Louisiana Coalition Against Domestic Violence and present and will provide information if requested. And Patty Freeman with Iris, Domestic Violence, present, would like to speak. Lunch is available if y'all want to rotate out for lunch.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to be here, Senator Womack and fellow senators. My name is Caroline Cassio, and I'm the president and CEO of the Wellspring and the Family Justice Center of Northeast Louisiana. We serve Ouachita, Franklin, Morehouse, Richland, Tensas, Madison, East Carroll, West Carroll, and Caldwell parishes. I'm here today to ask for your support of Supplemental Bill HB 782 and preserve the $7 million that was included by the House as an appropriation for domestic violence programs across the state. I've been with the Wellspring for more than 30 years, and in my current role as president and CEO for just over a decade. In my time as CEO, I can't recall the state appropriating general funding of its own to protect and serve survivors of domestic violence prior to last year. Funding was historically federal TANF funding that flowed through the state and DCFS. Last year was a tremendous statement of support for Louisianians who suffer and who have died at the hands of domestic violence, and I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you for making that happen. The initiatives funded in Northeast Louisiana last year through last year's appropriations were not one-time needs. These are ongoing critical needs that can't be fixed with a Band-Aid. Our allocation allowed us to increase shelter beds across Northeast Louisiana, not only in Ouachita Parish, by establishing partnerships with hotels across the service area. This is a temporary measure while we seek to create a new non-congregate, safer, more efficient domestic violence shelter for our service area. We were able to establish a service site in Madison Parish that's long been part of our service area, but prior to this last appropriation, folks had to travel to our Franklin Parish office to receive services, so we've been able to establish a site there and hire staff to serve survivors in that parish. We've been able to expand both counseling capacity and legal services to survivors as a result of this funding so that we can more immediately address their needs and ultimately keep them safe. We have expanded upon the My Community Cares project that we have through DCFS to use some of these dollars to allow that staff to go into some of the most impoverished neighborhoods in our community to screen for domestic violence. Many of those households live in constant violence and danger and don't realize that they're actually a victim of domestic abuse. So we're able to kind of, as a grassroots type thing, meet them where they are and help to connect them to services. We often talk about the numbers of domestic violence incidents or the deaths related to this issue, and oftentimes for people that aren't in this work, they seem just like numbers and statistics. But just this March, 2 months ago, a 37-year-old Richland Parish woman was shot dead in her home by her boyfriend. He later killed himself. But for us, that incident was far greater than just a statistic or a number of an additional homicide, because this was the niece of one of our very own domestic violence advocates. And so it hit particularly close to home. You've heard a number of comments about the decrease in VOCA funding and federal funds across the United States. Obviously, we're subjected to that too, and these dollars we received last year helped us to mitigate some of the losses of service that would have had to happen had we not received these dollars. Louisiana, we've been told to project more significant cuts this fall through VOCA. And while I know that Louisiana obviously can't control the federal government, we can make decisions for how to protect our own citizens. And we charge the Louisiana legislature with that decision. And so we would just respectfully ask for your consideration to continue to preserve that $7 million that was included for domestic violence programs statewide.
Okay, thank you for that testimony there. Okay, we have Ms. Patty Freeman.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay.
My name is Patty Freeman. I am a 28-and-a-half-year veteran of the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office, where I was a detective who primarily worked violent crimes, sex crimes against children and adults, eventually developing and supervising and working within a domestic violence investigatory unit for Sheriff Gautreaux until I retired on July 4th. On July 5th, I began as the executive director at the IRIS Domestic Violence Center, formerly known or also known as Capital Area Family Violence Intervention Center. We are the largest shelter in the state of Louisiana and can house anywhere from 100 to 150 persons on our property. We have wraparound services that are provided to victims, and because of the state funding that was allocated last year, now have developed and are implementing a children's program on site with a dedicated wing space. Understanding through law enforcement and through the position that I currently hold that children who are exposed to violence in their home and through their household members, family members, and also sometimes victims of that violence, that they will later be those who will perpetuate that violence in their own relationships or accept being a victim of that type of violence. So we believed, and thankfully for the allocated funding that you all allowed last year, we will have a very specific program to help intercept those children and provide them with a different outlook and a different pathway, especially those children who come into shelter with parents. That program includes on-site counseling, tutoring, mentorship programs, activities such as an art room, a music room, even indoor, teen lounge, but also a teen study library area equipped with computers and materials for them to be able to study while in shelter and still be a child and have a child's experiences. We were also able to open a on-site transitional housing wing that will facilitate, in addition to our 45-day emergency shelter, a 6 to 12-month transitional on-site shelter experience. That is obviously, because of our organization, cost-free, but enables those victims who are working and need longer to perhaps save and secure the transportation that they lack, or pay off the bills that would prohibit them from being able to get a place of their own to live, to stay cost-free for a longer period of time. That wing was financed, the repairs and the repurpose of it, specifically by a very generous NFL player who used to play for LSU. The money that you allocated helped us be able to open and staff it, something that we would not have been able to immediately do. But now it is opened, and now it is housing victims of domestic violence who are working and saving and achieving additional goals that would not have happened within a 45-day emergency shelter. The perception that they would be well within 45 days, some of whom have suffered from abuse for years. I've seen within my law enforcement career those who have suffered for more than a decade without reporting. Most of all, what I wanted to express today was our absolute appreciation for the allocated funds last year, and my sincere hope and wish that you will continue that funding. When it was allocated, it was required of us to present and provide what was called a deliverable, and that deliverable had to be in addition to what is currently being provided, or something in addition to what already existed at our organization. These two programs are all important. They look to the future. They look to the children who will increase the numbers of violent crimes committed. But without the continued funding, we can't afford to continue additional programs and sustain that under our budget. So I sincerely hope and ask that you continue that funding for our organization as well as the other organizations throughout the state. IRIS represents East and West Baton Rouge, East and West Feliciana, Ascension, Livingston, Iberville, and Point Capee. That's a population of over 800,000 residents according to the last census. We provided over 2,500 persons with services last year. 688 of those persons were children. And that is why we're here today. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any questions, and we'll be working through the budget and take your concerns forward.
Excuse me, I'm Crystal Scrants. May I speak a moment? I'll put in a card.
If requested, information if requested, you're welcome to speak. If you're not, I guess, redundant on what we've already heard. If you want to speak, go ahead.
Thank you, Senator Womack and committee members. My name is Crystal Scrants, and I'm with the Louisiana Coalition Against Domestic Violence. And
Would you
just wanted-
pull your mic a little closer? I'm sorry.
Yes, I just wanted to briefly tell you from a statewide perspective the things that happened this past year with the allocation of the $7 million last year. So over this year, we have opened 5 new domestic violence shelters, expanded 6 domestic violence shelters across the state, provided scattered site sheltering options for 2 areas in the state, 11 new outreach offices in rural areas, expanded services for legal services for 5 programs, children's services for 6 programs, and clinical counseling services for 8 programs, along with some other administrative and infrastructure issues that occurred throughout the year. So just wanted to provide that information to the committee for your consideration.
Okay, thank you.